Whew. So here I am at the park. Nighttime. My beautiful hometown of Oxnard. It's really difficult to see anything. For real, but I just got a recent ping on my tracer saying there's something out here. Something in the park. There's the main tree that's been standing there for at least 20 years. This park's only about 20 years old. But I remember when this was just nothing but a dirt lot. So I know there's something out here. It's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy. I've never been out here this late at night, but you know, what couldn't be brought here tonight that, there's got to be something. Maybe check up in the trees and, I knew it. Oh, better get here quickly. Don't want to be here too long. Whoa. How did I know it would be him? Hello, Edgar. Well then, I guess it's time we get started with the Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if some gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember that it was the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow from lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me in fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance to my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance to my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Oh, yeah. I'm gonna keep going with this one. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into the darkness, peering long, I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word spoken was whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore?" Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhere louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped by or stayed he, but with mien and lord and lady perched above the chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my fancy set into smiling. By this grave and stern decorum of countenance it wore, through my crest to be shorn and shaven thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is of the night's plutonium shore. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled at this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly. though its answer little meaning, little relevance bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being. You with your long ones, man. This is a long one, buddy. Ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above the chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above this chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on this placid bust spoke only that one word as if his soul in that word did he outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by a reply so apt spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, until the song's one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in my front of bird, and bust the door. Then upon my velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking that this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gone up, ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore, that I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head in ease reclining on the cushions of velvet lining, and the damp lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on tufted floor. Wretched, I cried, the God hath lent thee, and by angels he hath sent thee respite and nepenthe from the memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Almost there, buddy, almost there. Whew. Should've got a partner. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bends above us, by God as we both adore, we tell the soul with sorrow laden, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a saint and maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume or token that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadows on the floor, and the soul out of the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Whew. Oh, Edgar, you're one scary dude. Wonder if the Ravens play this weekend.